Hello Game Boys and Game Girls, I'm the Game Boy Guru, and welcome to another pickups video. Got a chance to do some running around today after spending some time with family last night, and so let's check out what I got. So, first location that I went was to Goodwill, and it's usually the second Goodwill that I go to because it's on the other side of town, but since I was coming from the opposite direction, I stopped at this one first, and they had 3 complete in-box Sega Genesis games. Now, I normally wouldn't go for this sort of thing, but they're not only are they complete with manual and so forth, but they're all complete as far as I can tell. So first we've got NFL Quarterback Club 96. And like I said, that's got the manual, it's got the cartridge, it has this cool poster, which I always love seeing in games. So that's got audibles for the football plays, and then it also has, on the other side, advertisement for some other Acclaim titles, including Batman Forever, which we all know is excellent. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Revolution X, Cutthroat Island, Judge Dredd. Man, the hits are just nuts with this poster. But cool nonetheless to see the poster with some of that. It also includes an NFL merchandise catalog, which is pretty cool. Really old school. All kinds of interesting stuff here. Autographed football replicas, jerseys, all kinds of cool stuff that you can see. And so awesome that was included. And someone who owned this game before wrote down a whole list of cheat codes that you can use within the game, including grenade mode, which I'm assuming is something that means you can lob the ball pretty far or something, and stealth mode. So anyway, that might be fun to check out and play around with those. But I love stuff like that when I find games out in the wild that have extra content like that included in them. Not just, like I say, not just the manual and the cartridge, but other stuff included that makes it more fun because there's more history to it, or because you know exactly what it came with right off the shelf and out of the plastic. So very cool to see that. So that is, whoops. So that is NFL Quarterback Club 96 with all of the accoutrements. Next is Bulls versus Lakers and the NBA Playoffs by EA. Of course, EA with their own goofy cartridges. And this includes the manual, and again, a poster with some other Electronic Arts games and stuff on it. I think EA probably fared better than Acclaim did in terms of the amount of quality that they had. So yeah, we can see here there's Shadow of the Beast 2, there's Starflight. I haven't played the Genesis version yet, but that is a fantastic game. I highly recommend. I played the original PC version a ton growing up. Genesis version of The Immortal, Fatal Rewind, which is one of the handful of Sega Genesis shoot-'em-ups I do not have yet. Desert Strike, etc. A couple of games on here I've never heard of, such as Black Crypt. Looks like a dungeon crawler RPG. So pretty cool to see that. And then on this side is EA Sports Network information with pictures from some of the other titles. So pretty cool to have stuff like that, and to actually get these things when you buy the game, because whoever it is that owned it before didn't plaster it on their wall and then throw it away later when they got tired of it. So that is Bulls versus Lakers, and then I got NHL 96, and that includes the manual, cart of course, and this nifty little EA Sports Presents 96 All-Star Lineup pamphlet that has Genesis, 32X, and Game Gear stuff in here. All sorts of EA Sports games, which by 1996 they were pretty much the kings of 16-bit sports, and so they were milking it for everything that it was worth. But interesting to see all these sports titles on the Game Gear: NHL, Madden, baseball, soccer, FIFA. Yeah, pretty interesting to see all of that on the Game Gear. So pretty cool to have a couple things like that. I've got NHL 94 that I picked up a while back, also at I think at a Goodwill. They had another copy of NHL 94 there that I passed on since I already have it, but pretty cool to get those. So that was Goodwill. Moving on to my favorite pawn shop, and I was able to pick up a batch of stuff today. I can get all of it out of here. So I got some Wii games, some PS2 games, one Xbox games, and then a couple of other things. So I got Monster Hunter Tri, or Monster Hunter 3 Tri, I should say. I got Endless Ocean Blue World, which I don't really know anything about, but looks like it's sort of an edutainment title. But could be kind of cool. The ocean is real interesting, so might be fun just to mess around with a little bit. For some reason, I had not picked up SOCOM 2, U.S. Navy SEALs. I have the first one, and I have, I think, the regular and greatest hits of SOCOM 3, and I have, I believe, every version of every SOCOM game for the PSP, but didn't have this one yet. So into the collection it goes. And you guys know I'm not a big sports guy, sports fan, or sports game fan, but make an exception for NASCAR. So I got NASCAR Thunder 2003 and NASCAR 2005. I'm not a big racing game fan either, but it looks like there is a... this one looks like it's got sort of a career mode, which might be interesting. Again, SmackDown, not a big wrestling fan either, but dirt cheap. Got Fight Night Round 2, and this was a Blockbuster copy. It doesn't say Blockbuster on it, but it comes in the box that they had for their games. And so it's different than the standard box. Thankfully, this one is not the kind that was also universal for GameCube games, and it actually has room for the whole manual. Some of them have a little plastic rim in there that makes it so you have to squish the manual in, and it's not very good. And one Xbox game I got was 007 Agent Under Fire. I've got this on, I think, PlayStation 2 already, but as I've said many times, generally speaking, multi-platform games, if there's an Xbox version, it's usually the best because it has the best graphics, and so go for that. The other two items that I got were Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance. So I got Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets for Game Boy Color, and I got the Pac-Man collection for the GBA. And I'm not 100% sure what's on there, but hopefully it's more than just a couple remixes of the original Pac-Man arcade game. So that's the pawn shop. Moving on now to game store number 1. Picked up a few things there. They were doing a 15% off sale. So I nabbed a handful of things. I got Millipede. I've never played the 2600 version of that. Grew up playing the 2600 version of Centipede, but never this one. So check that one out. And I also got G.I. Joe Cobra Strike. A little bit pricier than I would like to pay generally, but with 15% off I decided to go for it. Huge G.I. Joe fan from the 80s. I have the entire original Sunbow series on DVD, the sort of lockbox box set, and then I also have the original G.I. Joe movie on DVD. Yeah, I'm a dork. Got one NES game, splurged a little bit, and got Mendel Palace. It's one of the ones they had in the glass case, and I know this game's got a great soundtrack, and I've heard great things about it. A couple of people I follow on Twitter have given this game high praise, and from what I've seen, it looks pretty cool, so give that one a whirl. Random pickup is Extreme Pinball. I've got a bunch of original PlayStation pinball games already. This one appears to be something that is modeled after real pinball, but not actual pinball tables. Just a video pinball game that theoretically could be done with an actual pinball table. So could be kind of cool. I enjoy video pinball. It's a fun way to pass the time. And another random pickup, Resident Evil 0 for the GameCube. The other game store had this for the Wii, but way more expensive. And I saw that later in the day and felt glad that I picked this up for the price that I did with the 15% off. So cool to have that. I never really got into the Resident Evil series. This has got 2 discs. Primarily because I don't know why, I just haven't. I have Resident Evil 4 on the Wii, and I do enjoy that with the Wii Motion controls for aiming the targeting reticle, but I've never got into the earlier games, and this being a prequel, I thought maybe I'll play this one first before I go out and buy the rest of the series, just so I can kind of get a feel for story-wise where things start. So that is game store number 1. I stopped off at the other Goodwill location and only managed to pick up one item, and that is Flash Focus for the DS. I guess it's from the same folks that do Brain Age, and so anyway, I like this sort of mind improvement sort of thing, and this has the manual and also the Nintendo DS safety precautions booklet and stuff like that, and so I always love getting these complete. Oh yeah, I also picked up a PC game, and that is Full Tilt Pinball. And the cool thing about this is it has a couple of real, or I think real tables. No, wait a minute. No, these are classic PC pinball tables, but it has an enhanced version of Space Cadet. You can see there. The Space Cadet that was included with Microsoft Plus for Windows 95, and I think later was built into Windows either 98 or Millennium, and possibly XP. I think XP. But this apparently has an enhanced version of Space Cadet, so still one of the best video pinball games of all time, Space Cadet. And then it has Skullduggery, which I remember playing many years ago. I don't think I ever played this other one, Dragon's Keep, but Skullduggery is what I remember playing somewhere. So that's that. The other game store didn't yield too much today, but I picked up a couple of oddities. First is Pipe Dreams 3D, and that is basically just Pipe Dreams, but on a plane, like an angle, instead of just a flat 2D view. So I'm assuming that it basically plays the same as the other Pipe Dreams games, which I've enjoyed in the past, so we'll give that a whirl. And also saw this and decided to go for it, and that is Outlaw Golf, 9 more holes of Xmas. I already had the Outlaw Volleyball Red Hot, that was a Blockbuster exclusive, and so now I have this Blockbuster exclusive 9 holes of Christmas. And this did include the manual, and excuse me, and it's in good shape, reasonably good shape anyway. So I decided to go for that. I went over to Best Buy, as I mentioned in my last video. I was going to try and go for the full Breath of the Wild Amiibo set, and last time I got Zelda and the Guardian, and this time I got Archer Link and Rider Link. So I'm going to double check, but I think this is all of them now. The 2 different Link Amiibos, the Guardian, and then Princess Zelda. Let me know if I'm wrong, or if there's maybe 1 or 2 more that I need to get, but I'm hoping that that's it for the Breath of the Wild specific Amiibos. The other thing I did was I ordered, because they didn't have one there, I ordered the Bayonetta 2 Amiibo, because I love the Bayonetta character and games. The first Bayonetta Amiibo I didn't find out until later. It was a Best Buy exclusive, and it is out of stock, and now is going for upwards of $30 on Amazon. I'd like to get one of those eventually. So if any of you know a place that I can source one for not an arm and a leg, let me know. So I'll be picking that up hopefully this next weekend when I go back and visit family again. So that is Best Buy. And finally, I went into GameStop just because I always try to stop over there and see if they've got anything of interest, and made a couple of impulse buys. So on the Wii U, I got Sniper Elite V2. I had seen this at one of the other locations many months before, and didn't want to pay what they were asking, but this is cheaper, so I went ahead and grabbed it. Bit of an impulse buy here was Tokyo Mirage Sessions FE, as in Fire Emblem, since this is a Fire Emblem and Shin Megami Tensei crossover game. But I've heard really good things about this game, and a lot of people have said that this is, other than Breath of the Wild, this is the last great Wii U game, and probably the last great exclusive Wii U game to come out. So, anyway, we'll give that a whirl. And my big splurge, or what's the word I'm looking for? Impulse buy that I picked up was Fate Extella, the Umbral Star, from Marvelous and Xseed. And I don't know too much about it. I think it's kind of an action game in the vein of something like the Warriors series, because the footage I remember seeing kind of had the characters fighting against hordes of enemies in similar fashion. I think there may be some RPG elements to it as well. But I remember OJ from Player Essence showing some footage of this and talking about the forthcoming Switch version here a few weeks back. And so I want to see stuff like this on the Switch. I want to see interesting games. I want to see stuff from Xseed and from Atlas and other publishers coming to the Switch. And so as much as I can, I'm going to try to support any third-party games that come to the system that are stuff that I want. I don't care about Just Dance or stuff like that. You know, those are the kinds of games that, in order to have a complete collection, I'll pick up down the line somewhere, used or on clearance or whatever. But stuff like this, I want to see more of this kind of thing on the Switch. So I'm going to buy it when I can, support the developer, and make sure that they know that there's a demand for it out there. So that is all I have for everyone today. Appreciate you all watching and commenting and letting me know what you think. What in this pile should I check out first? Did any of the rest of you pick this up, and what do you think? What about Tokyo Mirage Sessions? Is this one I should put some time into immediately, or or would this be okay for me to come back to at a later time? And have any of you tried or know anything about Endless Ocean? Because I'm real curious about this. Just based on the screenshots on the back, the graphics actually look really good. 2009, 2010. So it is a bit of a late release, semi-late release in the Wii's life, and the graphics, just from these screenshots, look really good. So this looks like it might be actually a fun sort of, I don't know, edutainment game. But yeah. So what do you guys think? Again, is there anything I should be playing right away, or did any of the stuff I pick up is terrible and you would recommend that it just sit on the shelf and me not to play it? So let me know in the comments down below. As always, thanks for watching, thanks for playing, and game on.